crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, look and find your way, babe. Yeah, take a look around you, look and find your way, babe. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had. Stop looking at trends. You wearing your heart like it's topical. Clearly now, the pain is gone. The fame is on. And they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk. And move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines, we find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. You already know this is about to be stupid. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your face me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, it's a new range, new page. Got me in a new country, new stage. I ain't signed no deal, I'm too paid. I do not have chill, I'm too crazy. I do not take L's, I'm too Brady. I might be frosted, I'm not flaky. Don't know what it cost me, it's all gravy. Turn on that faucet and just pay me. Whoa, we gon' get it, bring it back. Maybe Donald is a Mac. Couple bottles, empty glass. New machine, I'm sending facts. Bump the headline, check the facts. I'm not a gangster, but I'm a gorilla. Hop on them drums when I'm feeling J Dilla. Come get your lady, cause I'm a just stiller. How about the range, whoa? Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange, whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your face me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, there's no comparison. Black in America, a little too arrogant. I just embarrass y'all niggas irrelevant. I shouldn't have mentioned it, that's royal etiquette. Out of my element, way too intelligent. Grab you a therapist, send him my sentiments. Neck full of sediments, caught me a Tesla and skirt through the valley. Dropped an investment in Silicon Valley. All of this cake, but I'm missing the patty. Might mess around and just move to Miami. Drums are so loud that they break in the chassis. King of the grass like a Lionel Messi. I am not crass, but my mental is messy. Mud in my glass while my pencil is sketching. All these rappers, but no one impressed me. Most of them actors I labels as testing. How about the range, whoa? Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange, whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your face me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa. How about the range? range. I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. Hop out the range, whoa. Yeah, I'm feeling strange, whoa. She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Trying to stay private, but I got them groupies. Owe me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies. She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Trying to stay humble, but I get real moody. Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies.
He's heating up!
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Go to the fucking gym.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me!
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Old Normath.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 3063 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustles, and yo-hos? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. And today's episode, the Beastcast, is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Evereston K2, flexing on all you bees.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Today we have a very special guest. It is Pinkston Churchill. You can give her some booze. Yeah, no, golf clap. All right. So for those of you that don't know, just to get it out of the way, she's really tired right now. I can't really get rid of the wire. Forget it. She slipped through my fingers this morning. So we usually have the same morning routine and things are normal, but she probably got a little bit skittish because there was like a huge garbage dump truck out back. And the thing is, we have cameras on the property, but she's so small that it doesn't trigger the movement always. And long story short, I turned around. Literally, we had, based on movement, from 9:17 to 9:18, there was 1 minute, and it was really like 30 seconds where the camera kicked back on. She was there. I saw her, turned around, turned back around. Didn't see her, but she's quick. So sometimes she goes into the gym. She actually usually goes to the fucking gym, and she's usually in the gym. So I go over there and I yell. I'm like, Pinkston, and there's fans in there. So I'll yell and she'll come running around. She's trying to usually find some poop or something to scavenge, whatever it is. And she wasn't there. Ran through, started running around, couldn't find her anywhere. And the crazy thing was the time frame. It was the time frame with how quickly she got away and where she could have gone in that short time frame. So it turns out I was on the right track, but the timing was off. So I forget, I don't even know exactly the details because the time, when you have adrenaline running and you're looking, I don't really remember how long the time frame was. But what ended up happening was a girl that was on her way to class. We're near a campus, and she saw her in the street or on the road, or there's kind of these side parking lots and stuff like that. But she saw her kind of in and around that area, and it had been raining. So I'm not sure if it was raining at this point. I forget exactly like the time frame, but I guess it was because she was wet. Anyway, she had stopped traffic or pulled over, and her and a couple other, I think they were in paramedic school, so they were taking some courses, and they were trying to like corner her because she was under cars, and I guess they saw her, and eventually she got her, and there was only 10 minutes before she was going to go to class. So this girl, really good natured and great heart, she instead drove to a specific rescue, which is pretty further away from where we are. And the reason why she went there was because she looked up specifically a no-kill rescue. And this is a nonprofit no-kill, and I tagged it in my Instagram stories, Savage, what I call it is a Saving Sage, I think it was called. Let me just look it up so I actually say it properly. Saving Sage Animal Rescue. So I tagged it on my Instagram. And so she looked up a no-kill rescue specifically. And by this time I was this is before I was sprinting and running all over the place, asking people, do you see this and the other? But Mama Swolio was making flyers, and then she was posting, taping them up everywhere. But she also took pictures and was posting it all over Facebook, and her friends started posting it. And a couple of her friends posted it on like the Ring network. For those of you that have Ring, I guess there's it sends out an alert to people in the community, in the area. So 2 different friends of hers posted on that. And I guess the girl that found Pinkston, her friend saw it on her app. So the girl that saved her, or found her, I should say, took her away from us, but she didn't know where she was from. Her friend saw it, and then I guess because she had texted her, hey, I found this dog, or they were, picking her up together, and then she took her to the shelter, like, hey, I saw this alert. That's like the dog that you found, that you picked up. So then that girl texted Mama Swolio and then got the number back and forth. And then we found out that it was at that shelter. So it was good. It was good. And it was nice that there's good natured people, that these few people went out of their way to take in Pinkston, because they didn't know. They just had a white Chihuahua and she was wet, and it was a long day. Let's put it that way. So from 9 o'clock, just my normal standard routine. It was a little bit later than normal, but it was around 9 o'clock outside watering the plants, the dogs. It was just blink of an eye. So new routine, 100% attention on the church and the dogs. And then I'm going to bring them back inside, and then I'll tend to the housely duties in the garden and stuff like that. So just crazy how quick it was, but I really appreciate all the feedback. So that's why the podcast is later today. And I don't even know if I would probably wouldn't have done it today. I don't know. It was a rough day, a lot of adrenaline, but a lot of, good in the end. Good in the end. So we got her, we went in and picked her up, and they had her, and she's, as you saw, she's knocked out. She's exhausted, face down in her bed. But for those that don't know, I posted on TikTok and Instagram, and I told the story, and I was like, a lot of great DMs. There were a lot of great DMs. There were police officers that were like, hey, I work in the area. I sent it out to my guys. I'm going to be on shift at 6 p.m. Like, what area are you in? I'll keep an eye out. There were a lot of great people that contacted and were in the chat and shared the posts, the ones that Mama Swole put out and the ones that I put out. So I appreciate everyone that, and it's tough. I know a lot of you care and you're like, oh no, but what can you do, right? You don't even live in the same country or the same state, but sending, prayers and keeping her in your gains, it definitely helps. And I appreciate all the positivity, because it was a lot of negativity, but I am actually grateful for it too, because in the end, nothing bad happened. Everything's good. It's like it never happened, except I'm sore. My calves are sore because I was sprinting, Pinkston, you made daddy run. You made daddy run on pavement. You made me sprint on pavement. Huh? She made both of us do cardio. Can you believe it? Cardio. So she's punished. She's in puppy prison, and she may see the light of day in 2025. She might go outside again in 2025. It's possible. 2025 is only a couple months away, and she's only getting kale for a month. So that's her punishment. I'm just kidding. She almost didn't get her grass-fed beef and her belly bites, but man, it was rough. I know she's not a child. She's just a little pup, but man, you realize how much you care about something until, sometimes you don't realize how much until, and how little other things matter. Just didn't care about anything. It was going to be a rough night. After the dust settled, when you sit home and then there's 2 dogs to feed instead of 3. And it's similar to when you lose a pet, but at least if you, like, I'm going to say lose a pet, if your dog or your cat, when they pass away, at least you know where they are. And that's a part of life. It's like when I didn't know if she fell down the sewer. There's a sewer grate, like maybe she got scared by a car and then dove into and slipped. I didn't know if someone took her, and just crazy because people commute to different campuses. So she could have been in Miami. She could have been, who knows? And someone still has to bring her back. So fortunately, she was, the girl that found her cared and actually was like getting out of the car and stopping cars and doing whatever she could to pick her up and then bring her to the shelter and to the rescue, and to specifically look for a no-kill rescue and to put that before her class. And what was great about the rescue was the rescue wrote a note, that the reason why she was late, so she could take it to her class. And so I thought that was really nice of the rescue also. So there are good people in the world, and just grateful that the right person and the right people were involved today, because it could have been completely different. So, it's one thing to sit here and be like, man, imagine if, I don't even want to imagine because I was already living it. Fortunately, I only lived it for 6 hours. So it was literally like 6 hours and she was gone. But apparently she was in good hands. I don't know what she was looking for, but she was probably scared by the garbage truck. It was extra loud. And then I think what happened is she kind of like went around the side, and then she kind of like scattered a little bit and then just kind of got curious and just kind of kept on going. And then who knows? That's the thing about dogs. You have instinct that takes over, and you can't ask them, well, what happened? Why'd you do that? It's like Rufus did that once too. For no reason. He just got skittish from something, and then he like ran around the side and like started running down the street. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And I started running after him, like, come back. And he just kept on going, because then they think they're in trouble maybe, or I don't know. He just kept on going. And I found him like licking his dick like where I normally walk him, like around the other side of the street. It's like, dude, I got in my car and I was like looking for him. But she doesn't really go on walks. We don't take her on long walks. So she didn't really have the same kind of path or scent pattern, maybe, of going a certain route all the time like Rufus does. But anyway, yeah, she's just so cute that the fact that someone can find her and pick her up, it's, you know, it takes a special person to give her back. She's just adorable. So anyway, yeah, they're family for sure. They're family for sure. And you guys know you have animals, you know, they have their own personalities and stuff and their own thing. But, yeah, so she's back. So again, I appreciate everyone for the kind comments and everything. Fido Frenic on YouTube, is Papa Swolio still around? I haven't checked into the Mancast in a long time. She is. She's coming up on 20 years old. She's in the other room. She always comes in here for treat grift, but she doesn't stick around all the time. So she's out there doing something, but she's still good. She's still good, and grateful for that also. But yeah, she's still good. She's still good. Ah, my goodness. My goodness. That would have been, for such a small little thing, that would have been just it was like the most ravaged, gaping hole. And now we're glad to have her back. All right, fam, let's get into it. Today's Swole card. Today's Swole card is Pinky's home. Pinky's home. Oh, there's her butt. Yeah, Pinky's home indeed. So hashtag Pinky's home. Everyone's kind of doing that already. And we'll give a special Pinkston edition Swole card to one of you lucky beaches. Thanks for being here. Let's get into that tip. Babe, just an inch, just an inch. It's cold outside. Would have had a hard time laughing and, you know, can't be posting videos, go to the fucking, like, now when that happens, it's just, oh, this is gonna be hard to, it would have been really hard to get past that. You don't really, you just find a new normal when you lose someone close to you or a pet. Did Tessie get a septum piercing? Yeah, let's not get off the subject too much. Well, I guess it's all the topic, but the topic is Tessie being a woke beesh. So, yeah, the Falcon hasn't been... Yeah, I know, Freddie. I know. The Falcon hasn't been paying enough attention. This is what's kind of happened. So, Tessie put on a lot of weight. She dyed her hair, got a septum piercing, lost the weight, but kept the hair dye and the septum piercing. So, she went a little bit woke. We're trying to get Freddie to sink his talons back into her, but now he's not attracted to her because she has a septum piercing and, you know, multicolored hair. So we're trying to get them back together and straighten Tessie out. Jesus Christ, fucking bird. So if you missed that, that's the latest. And it's an ongoing debacle. It's an ongoing tryst, we should say. Sheena says, my cat who passed last October was missing for 3 days. It was the worst 3 days ever, not knowing where he was. Yeah, I mean, I've had cats before in the past, and sometimes cats just dip. We had a cat when we moved from New York City when I was much younger. We had a cat that would just disappear for a couple of weeks. It was an outdoor cat, just became an outdoor cat when we moved, and so it would come back and then it would just disappear for a while. So cats are a little bit more like that, where they'll just peace out and they just have a mind of their own. They'll just do their own thing. But yeah, cupcakes don't kill. My girls are so happy right now. LOL. We were all waiting to hear. They literally just shouted for joy. Oh, that's great. Yep. Pinkston is back. Pinkston is back. So it's all good. It's all good.
What's in the box?
All right. Brandon is posting some sick gains. An older progress photo popped up on my gallery today. 2024 was the year of the back gains. We can tell, apparently, and lack of sun too. So we got on the right September 2023 and September 2024. And dude, you can see the difference. Good for you. Good for you. And wow. Yeah, let's get you a little vitamin D, bro. Let's get you a little vitamin D. You know what I'm saying? Someone's cave dwelling a little bit too much here. One from Matt showing some beautiful, beautiful weights. Back day fam, barbell rows and lat pull downs. Nothing but a peanut baby. Lightweight baby. Everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but nobody want to lift no heavy ass weight. Tanya says, I'm working too much these days. I took on more classes to teach, and now I'm working from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Wow. But I'm still getting all my workouts in starting week 7 of the 90-day dash. I'll be working a lot until I go back to the US for a short trip in December. I'm reading all y'all's shenanigans, though. Oh, well, that's so glad that you are keeping up with the shenanigans, the Swole fam shenanigans. And we have one more accountability post from over the weekend. What's up, Papa? Focus this week. Training, recovery, and mindfulness. This is from Isaiah. Have my workouts for the week written out. Also setting up my routine around this new job, meaning training at 6 a.m. and having my day start earlier to work around the set schedule. Will also stay in line with my nighttime routine and keep me consistent more with the schedule. I have my recovery days set for 4 this week between my 2, possibly 3 heavy lifting days, which are Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Obviously, the recovery days will fluctuate with the intensity I put in on the lifting days, so I'm prepared for those outcomes as well. My mindfulness goes back to the response I sent yesterday. I'm wanting to practice more 5-minute brain gains throughout the day to help the communication between my wife and kids on the importance of training, not just for me, but also the split of workload for the house, i.e. chore, charts, and like you mentioned, rewards for the littles. Ready to make this week my bitch and keep going from there. Hashtag accountability text, GTTFG, and let's fucking go. I love it, dude. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, especially when you have a lot of responsibilities. And, you know, as a parent, I can only imagine, you know, your responsibilities that you have are, they're permanent responsibilities. But of course, I think if more people like yourself frames their life, not that fitness takes away from their family or fitness takes away from time with their family, fitness is going to feed that time and that ability of you being a better person. You're leading by example, doing it first. It might be a 6 a.m. lift or a 7 a.m. lift or a 5 a.m. lift, but getting it done because your kids aren't going to necessarily be up at 5 or 6 a.m. You're able to wake up. Yeah, it takes more responsibility, getting to sleep on time, and then getting up, getting it done, and then coming back. And then at the end of the day, you can be home with your family. You've already got your pump on. And of course, focusing on the 7 pillars and focusing on your fitness and your training is only giving yourself more time with your family and for doing all the things that you enjoy. So I think if everyone puts their health first, right? This is what people normally do. They work their ass off. They take pills. They're up all night and they're working, making money, doing whatever. And they think they're going to they really think they're going to take care of their health later, right? I think a lot of people really think that. They think that they're going to grind, and then focus on fitness and then focus on stuff later after. But that's not how it works, is it? You don't have as much time as you think, but you're going to have more time and the quality of the time. And the difference is it's just like investing, it's compounded. So just like your quality health and those habits will compound over time, finances, investing, stacking sats, Bitcoin, investing in index funds and things like that, those things compound over time, but you need to be investing consistently to get those compound benefits. And the same thing with positive health and finances positively, same thing with negative health. So if you trash your health and don't care when you're growing up and 15 and 16 and 17, 18, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, I'm going to take care. You're already banged up. You've had 30, 40 years of compounded poor habits. Now you're fucked. And you can't undo a lot of those things. You already have diabetes. You already have damage, this, that, and the other. You didn't build muscle. You didn't build the most amount of bone muscle and your peak bone density. You didn't create those benefits and you didn't create that compound result because you're only going to get your peak muscle mass and your peak bone density, what, late 20s, early 30s, I think? You can check on the actual age, mid 30s, you know, depending. It probably peaks your highest possible is probably late 20s. Or early 30s. So you can't get that back in your 50s. Maybe you have all the money in the world, you're a multimillionaire, and then you're going to go to the gym. You can't get back your 20s. You can't get back your 30s. You can't go back in time. That'd be cool, but you can't do that. So what's really important is to get that compound interest in now, and really you're staving off all the negative bad habits. I'm not saying you have to be a professional bodybuilder, but it doesn't take much to prioritize your health and eat quality food and exercise. Do you have to build tons of muscle? I think you should try to build as much muscle as possible because it's hard and it's going to be great for you. I think you should strength train, but not everyone wants to try to get as big and like, I really want to get my biceps bigger. Not everyone has that passion or desire. Fine. You could do a different type of training split that prioritizes other things, but strength and building muscle is important for everyone. And people underestimate the effects of those compounding negatives. So you've heard the stories, right? You put in $100 a month. Man, if you go back to the 80s, you put in $100 a month, you have like $2, $3, $4 million. You put $200 a month in, blah, 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 right? Think about that. Think about whatever those numbers are. You can see a bunch of posts and a bunch of books that all talk about Warren Buffett and X, Y, and Z. You go back and you think, okay, what if that $100 a month or $200 a month was a negative habit? That was going out drinking, doing this, not exercising. So that's 200 negative, 200 negative, 200 negative. The reason why that 200 ends up to be like $2, $3, $4 million. Think about that in the negative, all those compounded bad habits. And now you have type 2 diabetes, you have heart disease, you have high blood pressure, you have blah, blah, blah. You have joint pain, your back fucking hurts. You have, sciatica, you have, and I'm not saying people don't get these issues, but you get the point. So it's going to compound the other direction. So just do that now. It helps you for everything. And the reason why I want to talk about that a little bit more, I want to really translate that over into Pinkston leaving. I could care about the podcast and the app coming out and the merch and the gym. And we have a storm coming in with a lot of rain and wind. So I probably have to cover the machines in case the canopies rip. And it's like, okay, when she was missing today for those 6 hours, I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, let the fucking gym fall apart. I don't care if it rips and gets wet. I didn't care about the garden, all the stuff that I normally care about. I didn't care about. I was thinking like, man, I got to eat something like steak. Like, I don't feel like eating. I didn't care about anything. I just wanted her back. So the same thing is with your health. When you don't have your health, you don't care about anything. When you're sick, you guys know that you have the flu or something. The only thing you want is to feel better. You break a bone or you have something poor with your health. You just want to be healthy. You'd be like, how much money do you want? Yeah, I don't care about this. I don't care about that. The things that you thought matters don't. So, it was just shocking and humbling. And I'm just grateful for that I was able to have the experience and still have like a successful outcome. But I didn't give a shit about any of it. I didn't care. And it was an interesting experience for a short period of time. I'm grateful that was a short period of time. But of course you find a new normal, so to speak. But I just, in my head, it crossed because you just have other thoughts. And it's like, I don't feel like, am I going to ever feel like working out? I don't want to do my workout tomorrow. Like, I don't fucking care. How am I going to do any of that? How am I going to be a good mood? How's Mama Soy and I, how are we going to be able to joke around when, we don't know where she is? It's been awful. And a lot of families and parents go through that with kids, and it's got to be 100,000,000 times worse when it's a child. So, sorry, we might have like the guy that's doing the lawn likes to do it at 8:00 at night sometimes. But anyway, so that's some perspective. So again, when it comes to your health, take care of it now, because when you're sick, you're going to wish you did. Right? When you're sick, you're going to wish you did. When you have all the side effects of trashing your body and not taking care of your health, you're going to wish you did. So do it now. Everything else revolves around that, because nothing else really matters. Like, cool, you have $100,000 in the bank, $1 million, you got assets, you have a nice house and appreciated wonderfully. You have you have kids, and you're like, cool. If you're sick and you beat yourself to shit, you can't enjoy those things. You're not going to be around long enough, and you're not leading by example for your family, but you can't be around to enjoy the things. It's okay to want nice things or certain things, or you have a dream car that you want, or you want to have a home gym like I do, or your garden, or dogs, or vacations. Like, you can't travel the world. Let's say you want to do that. You can't travel the world when you're sick. Like, if you're sick, you can't enjoy any of that. So take care of your health. And then no matter what else it is, you're healthy enough to enjoy it. It just, again, you're going to wish you did when you don't have it. Pedro, thank you, Master Gene. Appreciate it. Pedro says, my son got lost for 5 minutes at a kid's run, and I about shut down that event. Liam Neeson thoughts ran through my head. I can only imagine like what I felt today. And like, it's just so much more with a child. Yeah. Indeed. Let's get into a couple email responses. Don't feel like training today. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com if you're not on the email list. Makeemailswoleagain.com. It's 100% free. We'll get into some questions in a moment. We'll get into some balls deep stuff. And I don't know what's in the folder, but I could definitely laugh a little bit today, I think. So makeemailswoleagain.com. Get on the email list. And don't feel like training today. Chris responds and says, I train every day and I have activated rest day on Sunday. Thank you. Yesterday, back in biceps. Today, 20-minute hit session and ab circuit. Now, I know what Chris meant. Chris said, I train every day and I have active rest on Sunday. But I feel like, because actually it reads, I train every day and I have activated rest. I have activated rest day on Sunday. I might say that now. No more active rest. I'm just going to be like, I have activated rest. Rest mode engaged. So I like that. Good for you, Chris. Gareth says, fucking gym time, boss. Smashing upper body to get that insane pump going. Just about to finish the night shift, but the shit needs to get done. Officially lost over 100 pounds and time to keep on going. Dude, what a boss. You're the boss. About to finishing the night shift and then going to make gains. Good for you. Good for you. Let's get into some knowledge cock questions. Drop them down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Thanks again for being here. Hashtag Pinky's home because you know why? Aww. Because Pinky is home. And just in case anyone's tuning in now, I'm not going to go over the story again. You can watch the beginning of the podcast. Pinky slipped through my fingers, so to speak, today and got far enough away to not be found. I don't know how I didn't find her when I was running around the entire area, but she's a crafty one and she's so damn small. She's like 4.5 pounds. So someone picked her up and long story short, we got her from a shelter that the girl brought her to, which is pretty far away. We had to go on the highway to go to it. But bottom line, we got her. We have driven anywhere to go get her. So super awesome. Okay. Let's get into some questions. If you have a question or another follow-up on a topic or something we talked about already, drop in the comments, hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. You could also call into the show. No calls today, but you can call into the show, askpapaswolio.com, and we'll feature you in the next episode. Unless the question's like, you know, I want to rub Crisco all over your body. If it's something really creepy, actually, if it's something, don't do it. Please don't do it. Mats, don't, you guys are, don't you creeps or Aaron. You guys are like, yes. If it's really weird, we might play it, but don't do it. I shouldn't have said that. Don't do it. It won't get played. But you can call into the show. All right, just don't do weird stuff. Cleomenes Kotsianas. Cleomenes Kotsianas. What a name. Papa Swolio, what ab exercises do you recommend with a minor abdominal hernia? That's a good question. Whatever you're medically cleared to. Now, there's different types of hernias. I'm not an expert, but there's abdominal, there's inguinal, which is lower. And, you know, I know it happens for different reasons, but oftentimes it only gets improved with like a surgery or putting like a mesh in there. But maybe sometimes with some like abdominal strengthening. If I had that situation, I would probably do things like vacuums and do some like pelvic floor and do some like drawing in maneuvers, maybe not like heavy weighted exercises, but I would definitely do some abdominal, like transverse abdominis strengthening. And I would probably say, barring anything that your, physician told you to avoid. Of course, I have to say that legally and just responsibly, but a lot of times physicians unfortunately don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I would be all over the internet looking up every last possible thing and way to maybe repair or improve it naturally. But doing things where you are strengthening like your transverse abdominis, like I said, and those like drawing in muscles will definitely, it's good for your core anyway. It's good for your abdominal region. If anyone else has any input, I don't want to sit here and be like, what ab exercise? If you want to train your abdominals, I'd be like, hey, do, crunches with a full range of motion, but it could aggravate it, or it could, depending on where it is, that's a big region where your abdominals or your intestines can push through. So I would say it really depends on how bad it is. You said minor. So, but again, I'm not a hernia expert, so I don't want to be necessarily directing you a certain way. Maybe yoga might open and move some things around in a positive manner. But I would start off with something maybe like, vacuums and maybe postural exercises. Just some thoughts off the top of my head. Rebix, Papasolio, how to work through deltoid tension / ache. Seems tied to a knot by my left shoulder blade, but is still struggling with the 90-degree outward motion, not forward and back swinging motion. I know it's hard to explain these things. So, tied to a knot by my left shoulder blade, struggling with the 90-degree outward motion like this, not forward and back. So not flexion extension, but abduction, adduction. How to work through deltoid tension ache. Seems tied to a knot by my left shoulder blade. A lot of times it's not the deltoid, it's the rotator cuff. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just guessing based on what you're typing in the chat, but it could be your rotator cuff, which are the muscles underneath the deltoid. So what the rotator cuff works usually at like the beginning range of motion, like when you're beginning abduction, like the first, maybe 10, 15 degrees, the rotator cuff will work primarily, but then the deltoid will take over. So the deltoid is more of the movement arm, or the movement, more of like the motor group of muscle, so to speak. That's going to provide the most force. The rotator cuff is a stabilizer. So the rotator cuff is attaching from the scapula to the humerus. And what the goal of the rotator cuff, it really works with internal and external rotation. But the main purpose of the rotator cuff is to stabilize the glenohumeral joint, which is essentially where the humerus interacts with the scapula and the clavicle. So the rotator cuff kind of keeps the ball right in the socket, and then the deltoid is used to provide the force for like heavier weights. But where usually people have issues is just over time you have impingements because of like the supraspinatus and muscles that kind of cross through these tiny little bony pathways, and it leads to inflammation. And if you're having issues, moving out to the side, that could be an impingement issue. So, if you can see me, whichever arm that is, put it on your opposite shoulder like this and raise your elbow and tell me if it causes pain, because that's usually a good sign, a good impingement test. But what you can do is take a light band and you can do external rotation. You could do floor cobras, on your stomach or on your chest or on a bench with no weight. Dead hangs might be good for you if it doesn't cause you any discomfort. Sometimes those things are good, but sometimes you want to work through the discomfort. It depends. It's hard to explain it, and it's hard to tell someone to do something because like you guys know, sometimes you're doing a movement or a mobility and it's like, it kind of like aches, but it's not pain. It's like, when you're doing something and it kind of hurts, but it hurts good. And you're like, oh, this is so good. But it's like, oh, so that's okay. But I don't want to tell you to work through pain and stuff like that. But dead hangs can be beneficial depending on how bad it is. But oftentimes there's an impingement where you need to open up the joint a little bit more, work on your external rotation. So the bands or the like. Rubik says, yeah, causes pain on opposite arm. It's my left arm that's an issue. Can tolerate the quote, work through pain. So it causes pain on opposite arm. It's your left arm that's the issue. So the right arm, it causes pain on opposite arm. So your left arm, that's the issue. So if it's your left arm, put your left hand on your right shoulder. And then, so that's usually, I'm not saying that's that's what it is. You've been diagnosed. That's often an and impingement. So what I would work on is scapular depressions. Inside Soul Enormous X floor cobras, the shoulder awareness series is great. You could do the wall angels on the back of a wall with proper spinal position, but you can do prone press with just your hands, your arms. You could do floor cobras, which is great. You can do just very light band, external rotation, and you can also do external rotation here with a dumbbell or a band. You can elevate and put your, prop up your elbow either on your knee with a dumbbell or with a band. So those are some good ways to create more of a balance. A lot of times the scapular, like the lower trapezius, isn't working enough and pulling the scapula down enough. You're getting too much scapular elevation, so it's causing friction. And also, a lot of times you have internal rotation. And we're all internally rotated because we're on computers and driving and this, and you're hunched over. You're always here. A lot of times, a lot of you might be better because you open up. We do yoga, and we always, you do things like face pulls, or you do external rotation, or you're doing, high upper back rows and things like that. And a lot of people don't do that. So they just kind of have only to the front. They never balance out. They never target these muscles, but you're doing dead hangs and you're doing all these different things. You might have the same type of imbalance, but most people, it's very common. Left arm aches at shoulder. And when I put left arm on right shoulder, mimic you, it causes some same ache as lifting at 90 degrees from the body. So it's likely an impingement. That's a good sign, or that's a common sign of having shoulder impingement. So you could also look up some of these exercises. If you type in exercise for shoulder impingement, you'll probably see some of the things that I said, but you might get some other visuals. So cobras, opening up the chest. Yeah, but the floor cobras gets you the middle and the lower traps, and also the posterior rotator cuffs. So you're getting the infraspinatus, you're getting the external rotation. So when you're on your stomach and you're doing this, like lying flat, and you're doing this and opening up, that external rotation, you're getting the extension and the external rotation, which is really working the infraspinatus and the posterior deltoid. And then because you're pinching backwards and depressing your shoulder blades, you're getting the middle and the lower traps. So the shoulder stuff, yeah, you can look at the yin stuff is great, because the yin, you'll get a lot of like chest opening stuff, like heart openers are great because it'll really loosen up the pec minor, and it'll loosen up a lot of the stuff on the front of your chest while you're doing that. But check out the shoulder awareness program, because you'll see the wall angels, you'll see the extra rotations. Just do the first level. It's in the program vault. So check out the shoulder awareness program and you'll see a lot of that stuff there. Good question. We went deep on that, but that's what we do. Under Reconstruction 2020, Papa Swole has basketball cardio. Yes, it is. Yes, it is indeed. It's not steady state, but yeah, you're getting a hell of a cardio workout if you're playing basketball. The Hercules. Remember, let's go back to that for a second. Remember, cardio is not like, cardio is not just cardio. If you're lifting weights, it's not like you're no cardio. It depends on how you're lifting weights. So what cardiovascular activity means, there's different zones. It's just heart rate. So you go into a sauna, you get cardio mimicking benefits because your heart is working. If you have, and I've told you guys this, I used a Whoop strap for a little bit, and I just got annoying being on my wrist. I don't really like the things on my wrist. But in the sauna, you would see it looked like I was doing steady state cardio, the way the heart rate is. So if you jack that shit up enough, you're getting the cardio mimicking benefits. You're getting benefits similar to doing, treadmill or running. It's not the same like physically, like muscularly, but your heart is getting similar benefits to that. There's a lot of other benefits. There's a lot of other benefits for the sauna too, because of the heat and the heat shock proteins and stuff like that. But basketball cardio is like start, stop, sprint, change direction. So it's a lot of like short, explosive. It's not necessarily long, slow duration, but you have a lot of sprints in basketball too. You might do a breakaway and then stand around for a little bit and then light movement. So there's different zones, zone 1, 2, and 3. So you're not at your peak all the time. You're in between like zone 1 and 2. Let's see. Sheena, I know where I'm going after the man cast. I've been dealing with an impingement off and on for 2 years. It used to be so bad I couldn't lift my arm to turn my turning signal while driving. Yeah, that's brutal. And one of the things is, so we have that actually, guys, I mean, those of you that have been members for a while, didn't we have some of those master classes, like the shoulder master class where I had like the 3D muscle rendering? I think we did one on the shoulder and the rotator cuff. So if you really want to just sit there and nerd out, you could do some of those. And those were like, 45-minute or an hour long. We did those. Those were a few years ago. but those are still all in there for different body parts. I think we did the rotator cuff for sure. Didn't we do the shoulder and the rotator cuff? We did like the whole joint area. So what happens is you have some muscles that are kind of like going over and under certain bones. And then let's say you tweak them and they get a little friction, they get a little inflammation, they hurt. But then when they have some swelling, the gap where the bones are doesn't get any wider, right? So then it rubs more. So then it gets inflamed more. And then it's swollen more. So then it rubs more. And then it gets inflamed more. So it's like this cascading effect. And then, so that's why it starts with like, ooh, it kind of hurts. And then you don't fix it, right? And then you keep on moving. And then, oh, now I can't like, now it hurts when I carry my bag. So you move to the other arm. And then it's like, oh, now it hurts when I lift my coffee mug. And then you get to where Sheena was. And like, I can't even reach over to turn my turn signal on because it just gets so inflamed. All right, let's see. we just kind of talked about this. Charlie Whitmer, we'll do this one because it kind of dovetails off that. Papa Swole, your best way to fix muscle imbalance. Recently broke my arm. Yoga for sure. And I would just say biasing that weaker side to bring it up. So if you're doing unilateral work, tricep extensions, you're doing bicep curls, shoulders, a great way to do that. If you have one, let's say one bicep is very common. If you're right-handed, usually your left bicep is either weaker or smaller than your right. It's very common. Surprisingly enough, a lot of people think that everyone that lifts is just perfectly balanced. Any of you would know, like women, one breast is usually larger than the other. One bicep is, sometimes people have like one ear higher than the other. Like everyone's a little bit, very few people are like perfectly symmetrical, especially when you train. So if you're doing, let's say, trying to bring up your left bicep and your right bicep, train your left bicep, like go heavy. Let's say you're doing a set of like 5-6 reps for curls. And then without rest, go right into your dominant arm and get about the same amount of reps. And usually what you'll find is because you're doing back to back, you're favoring the weaker side rather than doing like left arm and then resting for a couple minutes and doing right arm when you're more, recovered. You're actually creating more of a balance because you're taking a little bit away of the potential for stimulus on the stronger side. So doing the weaker side and prioritizing that, doing unilateral work. And it could be doing 2-arm exercise, but then throwing in 1 or 2 unilateral ones where you just bias the weaker arm. And it's just going to take time. I'll take that. Across the blue universe, if I'm not sore after a workout, do I need to add more weight and reps? Yes and no. So we've talked about this a lot, but it's a good topic. You brought it up, and then we'll move on. Soreness is not the goal. Soreness is sometimes the byproduct based on novel stimulus and other mechanical effects inside the muscle spindles and stuff like that. Calcium ion channels and stuff. And I forget all sometimes the details of that. That's like really detailed exercise physiology. What I can tell you is that being sore is not the goal. So, which is cool because you don't have to worry about being sore. I think a lot of times people get anxious for lifting because it's like, oh, they know they're going to be, they dread leg day, right? I dread leg day. Well, if you're going to be sore for a week, yeah, and it hurts to walk for a week, I would not look forward to it either, really. But the goal is not to be sore for a week. The goal is to progressively overload. So if you're providing a proper stimulus and you're recovering enough, you'll be able to train more frequently and see those numbers increasing. So you should be able to lift more weight or do more reps with the same weight on a regular basis. Not necessarily every workout. Sometimes you hit a plateau and you have to like shake things up or fatigue less and try to push through that plateau. It happens. But being sore is not the goal. So yes, to your last part, you do need to add more weight or reps, but not for the goal of being sore, as the goal of providing yourself proper stimulus. So make sure that you increase the weight. So for example, if you're lifting and you're doing sets of 15, you should be lifting heavier. You should be lifting heavier. So you're doing sets between like 4 and 10 reps or 4 and 8. Going heavier is great. It's fantastic. Less fatiguing. You can leave a rep or 2 in the tank and get the same benefits. And you're going to cover faster between sets. You're going to recover faster between workouts. So you don't have to do as much volume. So if you're training for soreness, you're going to be doing a lot of volume, and then you're just going to be creating a lot of unnecessary fatigue. Remember, the goal is to provide a growth stimulus. So you only want to do as many sets and as many reps as you need so that the next time you can do more. Because if you're progressively overloading, you will get hypertrophy. You can listen to some of the other content too. Travis Rousseau 14, what do you do on rest days? I'll sometimes do some mobility, sauna, cold plunge, go for a walk, do some mobility, stuff like that. I mean, sometimes on an off, like intense training day, I'll do upper rest, lower rest, upper rest, lower rest. Sometimes on that in-between day, I'll do calves and maybe some mobility, or forearms and calves, or depending, or maybe sometimes I just have a complete day off where I just do some other, stretching, mobility, micro, deep, squats, or yogi squats and some rotations and sauna and just like some general stretching and yoga, for example, but nothing intense. So even sometimes on an off day, quote unquote, I'll do calves really heavy, but I'm only doing like 2 or 3 sets. So it's not like super fatiguing, but then I do like mobility afterwards. So like active recovery and stuff. Last 2 questions. Healthy snack ideas. It could be raw dairy. It could be hard-boiled eggs. You could do beef jerky, raw cheese. I mean, these are all snacks. You talk about eating something quickly, protein and fat. Raw cheese is fantastic. Or just chopped up steak and you can eat it. Like, having steak, you can cook extra steak and have it cold and have it chopped up and boom. I mean, it's a snack. Like, what does that mean? Small? Portable? Like, how do you mean a snack? Like eating a little bit, but not a sit down meal with like a whole thing? Do you want something portable, like in your pocket? Because if you can make anything portable. You just have to prepare it in advance so it's portable. So how do you eat steak all the time? How do you eat steak on the run? It's like you can cut the steak. Like you have a steak, you can cut into long strips, you can cut into chunks, you can cut into little pieces. Like you can just pick it up with your hand and take a bite like a caveman. Anthony Baumgartner, Papa Soy, what's your most essential supplement? Oof, great question. Oof. Essential. My most essential. I'll tell you what I take. I don't really take many things, so I think they're all essential. I take creatine, but that's not like, oh my God, if I don't take creatine, I'm going to lose all my gains. But I would say for my training, that's made the biggest difference is probably magnesium. So electrolytes. I would consider that a supplement. So I take creatine, glutamine, electrolytes. I put in extra magnesium. I don't really supplement with vitamin D. I could. I have some. I get so much sun. It's like probably not even close to necessary. But magnesium, creatine. I don't take tons and tons of supplements. Beef liver is great. It's not really a supplement. It's a food. But if you want a multivitamin, just take beef liver. You don't have to consider that a supplement. It's just food. All right. Bars. Fam.
That's deep.
You guys know the fucking Swole card. It's Pinky's home. Pinky's home. Yeah. We found the Pinkston. I know. Oh, look at her. She's so cute. Oh, she's home. She's home. She doesn't give a shit about being on the podcast, but she's home. Oh, that was the hardest part today. I had to go to the bathroom. I had to run into the office and we're running around looking for her. And I look and I just see her empty bed right here next to the computer. And it's just like, have to find this girl. Have to find this girl. That was going to be the worst, just seeing all the empty. Oh, so empty bed. Oof. Yeah, worn out from her adventure. The video I posted on Instagram where I was like, hey, we found her, because I didn't want to leave up the old one and people were still worried, like, oh my God, she's missing. So I just removed that one. We archived that and I posted up the new one. And she's looking up like, yeah, I was gone. It's like, fuck her. She was so proud of herself too. She's like, yeah, I was gone, wasn't I? Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were, you little beesh. Yeah, you were. We are going to be up her ass from now on. I'm already upper at, like, man, I am going to be more so. You're on lockdown. I said in the post, I said she might see sunlight in 2025. She might go outside in 2025. Love the look she gave when you said she was in puppy prison. She was like, she was like, hey, yeah, she's in puppy prison. Oh, that's right. Kale tonight. Only kale. And the thing is, she was missing. And it's like, you almost got kibble. You were about to get kibble. Yep. Yep. Should have left her there overnight. Once we knew, should have left her there overnight and be like, you're going to love coming home because you're going to get dried kibble. You're coming home. You get the grass-fed beef. You're going to get a piece of liver. You might even get some raw cheese. Yeah. You almost got kibble, bitch. And you made me do cardio. You made both of us do cardio. Aaron says, oh, did we post one? Did we post a video? Just saw the video of you pretending to eat her. Oh, I'm not pretending. I consumed the dog. Did you take that after the update? Oh, so I guess we posted that. Let me see. Oh, did we? With the Beetlejuice shirt. Yeah, so here's the thing. So people are like, oh, glad she came back from the gym. She's home. She's back. I filmed that yesterday. So that was even more rough. And I sent a message. I'm like, don't edit those videos. I was like, I would not be posting those videos. I filmed those yesterday and then we lost her today. So that was actually, so people, obviously the next video we're going to post will be a pinky one, but it was actually filmed yesterday. I'm not going to say so in the video, but you guys will know. So yeah. Yeah. So we filmed that yesterday and then today, obviously that happened. So it's cool. I was biting her like, I had her home. So it fits though. It fits because obviously I would do it today, but I would do it today. The thing is I would do, if I film tomorrow, I will bite her tomorrow. It's like not something that I'm not going to stop doing it. So the fact that I was biting her, actually that video. So people are like, oh, there's a man that just, so happy to see his dog. Absolutely. But that was actually done yesterday. So it's not like I got her back and I'm like, oh, I was excited yesterday. I love that dog. So yeah, a little inside scoop. Papa dropping the tea. I'm dropping the Lipton up in this bitch. Let's laugh at some retards, shall we? Oh, got a folder full of tards. You wouldn't, oh, I would absolutely nibble on her. That's never going to stop. That's the thing. It's like, oh, you got her back. You're so excited. That was yesterday. I bit the shit out of that dog. Oh, and after the show, she knows. After the show, I'm going to nibble on you again. I'm going to have to move the camera so you guys can see. I'm going to nibble on you. And Daddy's going to nibble on your jumblies. I'll get all up in that. I'm going to get all up in that. The tainted cam, he's been here. I haven't shown the cam. The cam was like, it's weird. I have to reset the drivers or something. It's been like choppy. So I haven't been turning on his camera lately. So I'll have to fix it. But there's nothing to see, right? There's nothing to see here. He's just, that's what you get. He's just that. Thank you, Cerny. Appreciate it. Again, I appreciate all the sentiments. Everyone send their love and support. Did we pick a number before? I think we did. And I was ranting. Pick a number. Oh, was that Aaron? A preemptive 2? Pre-picking number 2. I love Aaron's like pre-picking number 2. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3. We'll jump in with Aaron with a number 2. Aaron's going to start us off with Oprah and Kamala. Oh, thank you, Aaron.
Oprah and Kamala have me crying. It's like the nostalgia of Oprah in the 90s after high school, but like with the hope of today with Kamala, and there's a Swiftie right behind him.
Is this a joke? Does she work for the Babylon Bee? I cannot tell if this is real. There's a couple things here. One, obviously only a liberal would get this emotional, but why would you record yourself doing this? This is how I felt when Pinkston was missing earlier today. But I'm not going to be like, my dog is missing. And I'm certainly not going to do it that Oprah did a fucking fake ass interview with Camel Toe Harris.
I love it so much.
Oh boy. Oh.
The eyes, Chico. They never lie.
Okay.
Now, once you've had sex with the woman, she will naturally start to depend on you, okay? All women do this.
Aaron says, saw this video yesterday and wanted to tear my eye holes and laugh. If that's serious, I almost feel like that's a joke. I almost feel like that's satirical. Like, hey, it doesn't sound like it. That's not a, not everything has to be posted. That's one of the favorite things that I do on Twitter. I'll comment on people's posts and say, you know, you don't have to post, by the way. There's no rule about Twitter where you have to post on X. Just so you guys know, I'll post that on certain people's things. I'm like, you realize you don't have to post, in caps, have. You don't have to post. Just saying, just putting it out there. You know, the app doesn't be like, if you don't post right now, you know, you will be electrocuted. Like, no, you can just not post. And that's the frightening part. I don't think it's satire, which means a severe mental issue. Okay. Let's go with Rubik's 13. Perceived as a woman. Oof. Aaron's in the corner. Rubik's on your way.
I grew this so I wouldn't be perceived as a woman. And I grew these so I wouldn't be perceived as a man. And if that confuses or upsets you, mission complete. But if it doesn't, mission accomplished.
I've contained my rage for as long as possible, but I shall unleash my fury upon you like the crashing of 1,000 waves! Begone, vile man! Begone from me! I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
There's a lot to be said about that video. But someone would mention, and I would say, well, that dude's pretending. No, he's not as real. Look, if you're a man and you're pretending to be a woman, you're pretending. The crazy thing is, that looks like Saturday Night Live. That looks like a satirical sketch. But then people could be like, no, it's not satirical. It is, even if it's not trying to be. If that dude really thinks he's a woman, like, it's the same thing. It's a grift no matter what. It's a grift and it's an insane thing no matter what. Whether he thinks it's true or he's joking. Maybe that's just a dude like, I'm going to get some views. Hey, I grew these. And he just, you know, he doesn't exercise, so he has little, you know, man boobs. And then I have this, I'm a woman, I'm a beard. And I put some like makeup, like, it's totally a dude with some makeup. So whether he's pretending or he thinks it's true, it's still the same thing, right? It's a fake reality. This was my point when we were talking about that comedian and people are like, oh, that guy from The Bachelor or whatever the fuck it was, he's just grifting. And I'm like, they all are. That's why it's a grift, because it's not a thing. So some people might be really mentally insane and think they are, or some people might be like, I'm just going to get attention and, you know, get some views and get some virality. It's the same thing. You're still just pretending. That's just like your perception of what you're doing. Everyone's joking, right? It's all a joke. It's all a grift. It's not real. Either one. One's a joke. Okay, it's intended to be a joke. The other person believes it. They're both bullshit. Okay, weird. Changing pronouns, weight stigma awareness week. Let's go with, we'll do the last one first. I don't want to do the pronouns. We'll do this. They have a cave troll. Weight stigma awareness week.
It's the first day of Weight Stigma Awareness Week, and I wanted to start off by saying weight stigma causes eating disorders. And I know I'm supposed to say that it's not just one thing and there's other contributing factors and all of that. And that may be true. And I think we need to name really clearly that weight stigma causes eating disorders.
Things people say cause you to make bad choices. A lot of things cause a lot of things. I would not say weight stigma causes it. I would say that poor lifestyle habits and different types of attention issues because of poor food and lack of exercise and purpose and constant anxiety. Like, there's a lot of issues.
As somebody who experienced a lot of weight stigma in my life, I am positive
What does that mean?
that I would not have developed an eating disorder the way that I did had I not experienced weight stigma.
It doesn't make any, you're not saying anything. You didn't say,
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
You didn't say any, you said a lot of words. You know that meme? It's like, wow, that's a lot of words. That's what it sounded like. You said weight stigma leads to eating disorders. So I had an eating disorder and it was because of weight stigma. So weight stigma causes eating disorders. What do you call weight stigma? I think there should be weight stigma. Don't be fat. Eat steak, exercise, lift weights, get sun. You won't be fat. There's no need for the stigma. I live in the same fucking world. A lot of you live in the same world. You're just not playing a victim. You're not pretending like being fat is a virtuous thing. Oh, there's a stigma. And it's true. Just like stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. Well, not all black people steal. Well, the vast majority of crimes are perpetuated by black people. I mean, a stereotype is, yeah, like, you can't say all black people steal, but the percentages don't lie. That's not being racist. Most stereotypes are true, or they have truth behind it, or at least a reason for their existence. No stereotype exists. People don't have this conversation. Stereotypes don't exist for no reason. Oh, that's just a stereotype. What, Asians are good at math and they work hard? It's true. Overwhelmingly, it doesn't mean every single one. Hey, you're an Asian, you must be good at calculus. Like, that's just an ignorant thing to say. Okay? Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. But then actually using it to leverage, like, using a stereotype as like a fact across the board, you have to understand it for what it is, right? You have to understand that it's not true across an entire race of people, for example. But it could still be overwhelmingly true, and it could still be overwhelmingly statistically the case. But yeah, it doesn't mean like every single, person of a certain racial or ethnic group or this, that, and the other. Same thing with weight stigma. Okay. Silly nonsense. One more video. And then I'm going to go bite this biche yet again. There's some parts that I have not yet consumed. I was just kind of looking at this area right here. That could use a good nibble. I usually kind of focus more around like this area here, and like, and the back strap, I usually kind of get in there. But I'm kind of eyeballing like right here. That's like that's a meat. I'm going to get in that shit in a little bit. And it's nice and exposed. And when she's curled up, that's kind of like bunches up and I can just gnaw on that right there. Nice. Okay, this one's called Changing Pronouns. Changing Pronouns. Yeah, I saw some people in the comments on the video where I was saying like missing or found Pinkston, and some people were saying I owe a apology to the Haitian community. People were like, I hope they didn't eat. And I thought about that. I was gonna make I thought about it, but it was the humor was too dark even for me. Like, I was gonna make a joke to Mama Swole, and I just couldn't do it because it was just so. But it crossed. I thought about it earlier. I thought about it. And I'm proud of myself for actually crossing my mind, but I just couldn't apply it.
Are you a girl? No.
Oh, jeez, I saw this.
No. I'm just this person.
I am.
Elliot Anna.
All right, so you guys just watch that. If you're listening, you don't know what's happening. This is someone with a pin, and there's a little slider where you can choose your pronouns. My favorite pronouns are the ones here. First off, these are nonsense. You have Z, Zek, Zay, Zam. I like the ones that are A. It's like A, A, A. A and M. Z, Zem. Z here. Z here. Z here. Zem. A, M. Or ask me. No, the most fucked up thing about all this, the narcissism, is ask me. Excuse me, what are your pronouns? Bitch, come here. Come here. Here. I don't use pronouns when I talk to you. I'm talking to you. I'm not saying A or Zir or Xerxes. That's not how pronouns work. This is what you have to call me when I'm not there. Nope. Not going to do that. A was going to the... Can you imagine actually using that in a conversation? Well, Z was going... Z? Everyone would be like, what? You can't have a conversation. It breaks... That's why it's deconstructionist. It breaks apart language. It breaks apart society because you cannot have a functional conversation. They went to the movies. Oh, what'd they see? You know? Oh, you know, whatever. Like, it's one person. What are you talking about? It's one person. One person went. Oh, one person with a mental disorder went to the movies. Well, that's a whole different conversation. Like, why do we have to talk about their mental condition? My pronouns are Adrian. Adrian. My pronouns are, hey, you guys. Hey, yo, Adrian. It's me, Rock. Okay. Fun times. Fam, thanks for being here. Let's give away today's Swole card. Pinky's home. Pinky's home. Pinkston. 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 We'll turn you around. Pinkston's home. Oh, you had such a crazy day. Oh, Pinkston's home. You home. We found you. We found you. We came for you. Never losing you again. Never losing you again. Can I get some bellies? No? No more bellies? Not yet? Not yet? No bellies yet? Okay. You'll warm up to it, I promise. You'll warm up to it. You'll give me bellies later. You could have had belly rubs all day, but you ran away. You escaped. Pinky's home. All right. God damn it, Pinkston Churchill. God damn it, Church. Why'd you have to do that to us? Why'd you have to do that to the Swole fam? It's for goddamn ridiculous. Goddamn ridiculous. All right, hashtag Pinky's home. Let's give away the Swole card. Absolutely fantastic. Now I'm going to go bite her giblets. Here we go. I'm going to nibble. Ooh, kale. I'll give her some beef if I can bite the belly. I can bite that belly. We got a winner. It is in our Telegram chat. It's Lacey. Lacey wins today's Swole.
Congratulations!
Oh, right on it. Well, congratulations, Lacey. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Landed right on you, sweetheart. There you go. And thank you, everyone, for your concern, Lacey included. Pinky's home. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3063 in the subject. Your mailing address in the bio. The email, by the way, let me tell you, tons of outstanding Swole cards and signature series. They're all out. They're all out. So any day now you'll be getting it. There's a lot of Swole cards that we were backed up on, and we're up to date. We're up to date. So if you have pretty much everyone, I think there's still a few more that I think we ran out of stamps. So there might be like a few, like the more recent cards, I think, that maybe like the last week or so. So lots of Swole cards, lots of stuff going out. But again, like I said, the last week, I think we ran out of stamps, so we have to get more. So we'll do another batch soon. So congratulations, Lacey, and thank you everyone for being here. Yeah, you'll be getting all the Swole cards if you're expecting them. Like I said, maybe the last 10 or so. We still need to get some more. And tomorrow, back to our regularly scheduled programming. It'll be earlier in the day. There's also a storm coming into Florida. It's not going to be bad on the, on our coast, but it's going to be up the side of the coast. So tomorrow it's going to be kind of windy. Thursday, it's going to be pretty gnarly. So we'll try to do it earlier tomorrow. And then I'm going to have to be out there probably covering and tarping all the machines in case the canopies rip and all that fun stuff. Can't wait till we get past this hurricane season and then can work on putting up a more permanent, more solid structure. But the price of the endless summer in Florida, that's the cost of having beautiful weather and, awesome weather all the time, is sometimes nature tries to blow your fucking shit apart. Sometimes the big bad wolf is like, yeah, fuck you. We're going to blow your house down. But it's nothing like that. It'd probably just be like 40, 45 mile an hour winds, but not good for canopies. I'll put it that way. Anyway, no harm, no foul. Nothing important will be damaged. And hopefully the trees and everything will hold and nothing gets ripped up and it's not that bad, but a lot of rain and wind, but it should be fine. But anyone that's on like the Panhandle or that area, West Coast, hope you're well and you're prepared and hopefully it's nothing to write home about. So tomorrow I'm going to wake up, going to take out Pinkston. And guess what? Guess what I'm going to do when I take out Pinky? I am going to fucking be glued to that beach. And glad she got in for the hurricane too. I know today and this morning, and then it started raining and it was raining and I'm like, oh, my poor baby's out in the rain. Like it was not fun. It was not fun. But thankfully, at least she was at the shelter. So even with the storm, she would have been at the rescue place. But I'm so happy to say it's neither here nor there. She is right there next to me where she belongs during the Mancast, and she's back. And I will send Mama Swolio all of your love and all that stuff. Yeah, I know. It was rough. It was rough for her too. But she's a beast. She was strong through the whole thing. And we're people of action. So even though we were upset and it hit you at times, like we did everything we possibly could to find her and talk to people and ran around and calling everyone and shelters and animal rescue and local enforcement that handles these kinds of things. And people were combing the areas. So fortunately there were good people around and there were a lot more good people around that aren't getting credit. So there were a lot of people and even our neighbors and stuff were like walking around and looking. And so there were a lot of people checking in and texting and like, oh, did you find her? And so there are a lot more than the people that I gave credit for in the video. So appreciate everyone that showed up and thank you for all the support for those of you that couldn't do anything but send prayers and wishes. But Pinkston's safe and sound. Pinky's home. Pinky's home. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace, McGeese, Deuce, Magoose, ya boy, Papa Swolio, and Pinkston. Oh. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now the king left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant, on topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons out closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies.